What's going on, everybody? Mike, how you doing, man? Welcome back.
Glad to be back on Dueling Aces, Wade. It feels like the good old days are here again. I love Blitz the Books, but let's be honest, man. Our main bag, where we make our big money all year long, is on the diamond, baby. And spring training is rolling. We're only a couple weeks away from the opening two-game series between the Cubs and Dodgers. How pumped are you, man? You ready for some bases?
Yeah, man, I've actually got the Mets and Cardinals game on right now. I think it's on ESPN. Been kind of keeping my eye on that. So, yeah, man, things are going pretty well. Glad to kind of be back, start talking baseball. Just let everybody know here. This is kind of a show where we will be on here at least once or twice a week. We'll give any quick updates on any noteworthy news around Major League Baseball, and then we'll give you one or two of our top picks of that day or the following day, depending on when we record. So, yeah, man, like you said, MLB season's right around the corner. Actually, the season starts Tuesday, March 18th. We've got the Tokyo series. We got the two-game series between the Dodgers and Cubs this season. Last year, it was the Dodgers and Padres. And then the regular season starts for everybody else on Tuesday, March 27th. So, man, I'm pretty excited. It's I can't believe it's already here, but we've each got some futures we're gonna give out
Yep.
later in the show. So yeah, man, have you been watching any of the any preseason? Been catching up at all at any of this stuff?
Yeah, a little bit, man. I don't typically bet spring training, so I don't watch a whole lot of it. But I'll throw it on. If there's especially since there's really nothing else on, it's perfect for the middle of the day. Get to see a lot of single A and double A guys. Some of the prospects. That's kind of fun for us seam heads. But yeah, I don't watch too much of it. But I do like seeing how some of the starting pitchers are looking. You and I both, obviously, the show's called Dueling Aces. We're both big into watching starting pitching, seeing what new pitches they may be trying, seeing what kind of form they're in before opening day, that kind of thing. But hadn't watched too much, but probably a couple days a week I'll throw at least part of a game on. Usually the starters are playing what 4 or 5 innings usually before they come out. So yeah, yeah, it's fun though, man. It's just great to have baseball back on TV. I love hearing the crack of that wooden bat. It's special, man.
I thought they almost hit a home run there, man. No, this is what it's about, man. We'll get some day games going. I can't wait for day baseball.
Can't wait.
Yeah, man, we really do love pitchers here. That's kind of the main thing that I will be betting in the regular season. I do think we're going to add some more game lines this season, as I had a little fun with that towards the tail end of last year. So might little add that to my repertoire. But when it starts pushing up the amount of picks you do every day, it's got to figure out you kind of thin line between how many props you want to play every day and maybe pick a game or two that you want to bet on. So that's probably the route I'll take. Um, yeah, before we get into I guess the top news that we're gonna talk about, I just kind of wanted to go through quickly some of the current odds. I grabbed all these off of DraftKings. Right now, the World Series, the top five here, we've got the Dodgers obviously at plus 300. Braves, I was actually surprised to see the Braves are plus 750 sitting second place right now. I love that. We both obviously love that, but that's going to be tough, man, with all their injuries they've got going on. Yankees are right behind them at plus 800, and then they've got the Phillies and the Mets both at plus 1200. So kind of the same typical teams. They've got the Yankees favored to win the AL at plus 310, followed by the Astros, Orioles, and Rangers. They've got the Dodgers favored to win the National League at plus 170, followed by the Braves, Phillies, and Mets. Same teams. I feel like we have every single year. I don't obviously the Orioles maybe are kind of the newer in there, but other than that, man, these are the same teams. I guess maybe that's why baseball may not be as popular as it could be. You got the same teams always every single year.
True.
Not sure how you can get new fans in. There's not too much parity, but there's always usually a team or two that'll break through on the wild card. Make a run to the World Series. I guess that's something I didn't really mark on here to talk about. Was any sleepers we thought? So maybe that's something we could throw out there later in the show. MVP Cy Young right now, same players as I guess you would think. Aaron
Yep.
Judge sitting there at plus 310, Otani at plus 170, Scooball plus 400, and Skeens at plus 300. I was actually surprised to see Skeens in first, but I'm not sure why. What do you, any of that stick out to you? I know it's always last year. I know we talked about Dodgers, Phillies,
Yeah.
Braves. It's kind of the same discussion this year.
Yeah, it is, man. And this is my one beef with baseball. I've been crying for literally the last 2 decades. They need a salary cap. They really do, just to shake things up a little bit. You got the haves and have-nots. It's really the Dodgers and Yankees, and then really everybody else as far as the big spenders are. We saw it again last offseason here. Wait, Dodgers have just loaded it up once again. They just signed Blake Snell a few weeks ago. It's going to bolster their rotation. Um, yeah, it's tough, man. It's for people like us, we don't mind just because we love baseball. But I think if they're wanting to reach more demographics, reach younger fans, I think it'd be more exciting to get a little more parity. Salary cap would be great. I know the players don't want that for obvious reasons. They like those gargantuan contracts. I get it. But yeah, I don't know. It, it's sad to me that a team like you and I both are A's fans from way back. We just know Oakland will never be you know really a playoff team probably ever again. I mean, the Moneyball era was a nice blip just because Billy Bean was doing things so much different than everybody else. He was ahead of the curve. But man, oh man, I don't know. But the as far as the awards market, surprisingly, I didn't bet any this year. Last year, I had Sale to win the Cy Young for a small peanut, which was nice. But I just didn't really see any. You know, kind of like you, I was surprised Skeens was ahead of Wheeler and Snell for the NL there. But I guess it's just because of all the hype last year. He just mowed guys down all year long. He might have actually won the NL Cy Young if he would have pitched the full season. So I guess that kind of explains that price. And then, man, how do you not like what Scooble did last year? He well deserved Cy Young last year. I could easily see him repeating. Guess maybe if I had to play something for a sprinkle, hmm, just looking here real quick. If I had to play anything, don't mind Logan Gilbert at 12-1. We're both big Logan Gilbert fans. Also like Grayson Rodriguez at 30-1. Maybe just for little sprinkles, nothing crazy, but that's just kind of me off the cuff as far as AL Cy Young. NL,
I
man,
do think I like Scooball to repeat.
do you? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's got a good chance, but I don't know if the plus 400. It's just not juicy enough to
I
jump
know.
on.
Yeah, tie your money up all year long on a 3-1 shot. It's kind of rough for 4-1 shot. NL. Oh, I lied. Wait, I did actually bet and I totally spaced on this one. I bet one of my favorite guys. This is a heart bet. So disclaimer. Don't put too much on this, but I did put a peanut on our buddy Spencer Schwarzenegger Swellenbach to win the NL Cy Young at
Did you
40-1.
really?
Yeah, 40-1. I think is way too much. I think it should be more like 15, maybe 20-1 at the most. It's a long shot, probably won't cash, but man, oh man, he looked fantastic down the stretch. I mean, he was right there with Sale as far as looking like the ace of the staff on the Braves last year. Could see him making another step forward, especially since, and I'll talk about it later in one of my win totals, especially since the Braves rotation's already banged up. But yeah, don't mind that one for a sprinkle. Also, kind of surprised Sonny Gray is 42-1. I know he's getting up there in age, but that price seems a little disrespectful to me. I don't know.
I looked at Sonny Gray too. I looked at his Cy Young
Yeah,
and I looked at his strikeout numbers, but I just, yeah, I'm just worried about him getting injured.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And he pitches a lot of innings. They let him pitch deep into games, and when a guy gets around his age, to start worrying about shoulder, elbow, stuff
Yeah,
like that. So
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I guess we'll jump right into the headlines here. We wanted to go through real quick. We've got, I guess the biggest thing was Juan Soto's record-breaking contract with the Mets.
Woo, my
Um,
goodness.
15 years, 765 million.
Wow.
Um, Largest in baseball, MLB history. Um, I guess I wanted to get your thoughts first on him and hit the pairing with him and Lindor. What you think? what you think they may be able to do here, and then really another topic we can just add to that is the Mets pitching issues right now. They signed Frankie Montas in the offseason. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. Sean Manaea is also going to be out. I think he'll be back at the end of April, they're saying, but if you never know if they have a setback, he could end up being, pushed back to May,
Yeah.
sometime early June, who knows. And
Yep.
then right now they're kind of banking on Kodai Senga to be back to what he was, which he basically missed all year last year.
Yeah.
And then you got David Peterson. Who else? Tyler McGill. Then they signed Griffin Canning, who's absolutely a gas can.
He is
Um,
Griffin gas can canning.
Gas can Canning, and yeah, and then they brought in Paul Blackburn from the A's,
Yeah,
which
I like
obviously
that.
I'll be a homer as an A's fan, but I actually do. He's pitched for them. He's he's solid. I think he's a really good pitcher. I actually think Paul Blackburn can be a really solid number three on a lot of teams. So for them to have him sitting back there as like a 4 or 5 option kind of blows me away. I think once the season progresses, if those guys don't come back right away, we'll see Paul Blackburn up there a little bit more as one of their top solid pitchers. Um, and so I guess I really like Singa, but yeah, what do you think about Juan Soto? You think that was the right move?
I know one thing. I think the Yankees are going to miss him tremendously. Now, I know
Yeah,
that's not really a hot take, but he was such a vital part of that offense. Him and Judge are kind of the dynamic duo. I'll still like Stanton, but Stanton's always injury prone. It's federal law. Giancarlo Stanton's only going to play about 100 games, and that's on a good year. So Judge maybe not as much protection in the lineup this year. I could see actually Yankees going under 91 and a half wins. I haven't bet it yet, but it's something I'm looking into just because I think the loss of Soto just hurts them, man. On part two of your question, one thing I've been kicking around in my crazy redneck brain, Wade, is I'm going to target the Mets. Maybe I don't play a lot of totals, but this year, I think I'm going to target some Mets overs just because the offense is going to be legit. Obviously, they just brought Alonso back, which is a huge move. They added Soto, another huge move. They got Lindor, who's lights out as we saw last year. So tons of offense for the Mets, but I'm not sold on that rotation, man. Sean Manaea is probably the ace of the staff, and I agree with you. I think Paul Blackburn's probably going to be right up there, probably a number two guy. But Frankie Montas is not the guy, man. I mean, he can be a gas can, not quite as bad as
yeah,
Griffin Cannon, but he can be
yep.
a gas can. And then David Peterson's a nice little lefty, but I mean, he's not all that. He's not overpowering. He can get lit up too. I think the wild card, like you said, Wade, is Senga. How healthy Senga gonna be? Is he gonna get back to his old dominant self? Another wild card's Clay Holmes. They brought in Clay Holmes from the Yankees. And word on the street says they're going to actually move him back to being part of the rotation. They're not going to let him be a closer anymore. Probably a good thing because he sucked last year as a closer.
I
But
heard
yeah,
he was actually slotted in there as their number three guy right now behind Singa and Peterson.
okay, gotcha. So that's surprising to me. I knew
Yeah,
he did come up as a starter, but I was surprised by that move. I guess their scouts maybe saw something I haven't. I don't know, but I would just maybe look for some overs just because anytime I've got a good offense that I know is going to put up 5, 6 runs a game, and then I got a rotation I'm not crazy about, might look at some overs. I don't know. It's just kind of a gut feel at this point, but yeah.
I like that. No, then I'm excited to talk about this one, man. Corbin Burns joining the Diamondbacks. Signed a
Wow.
6 year, $210 million
Wow.
contract.
Yeah. No.
Um, I actually love him going there. Uh, I haven't made the bet yet. I really need to. Obviously, I've probably already lost a little bit of odds, but I'm not sure who else. I haven't really heard many people talking about the Diamondbacks this year. Maybe it's because their division is so tough. They really do play in one of the toughest divisions with the Dodgers, Padres. Padres are going to be good again. Guess
Dude.
the Rockies are never good, but the Giants can like be sneaky good every other year. So I don't know. I think the Diamondbacks are definitely going to be a top option to make the wild card. I want to make a bet on them to make the playoffs.
Yes.
I
Yes.
would assume that's going to be plus money. It has to be. I have not looked at that one yet, but I would like to play the Diamondbacks to make the playoffs. Um, I might make a sprinkle on them to win the World Series. They got back there 2 years ago. I just think with Corbin Burns coming in, he's really going to bolster that starting rotation.
Hmm.
And I think their hitters are all going to kind of be back. I don't really care about the loss of Christian Walker that much. I think they can fill that void. They've got so many young, talented hitters over there. So, yeah, man, I really love the Corbin Burns move. What do you think?
Oh man, you took the words right out of my mouth. Wade. It's funny we didn't even talk about some of these news stories before you come on. So yeah, I'm really pumped about the D-backs rotation. Listen to this rotation, Big Wade. Holy smoke, you know this, but
I know.
my goodness, talk about murderers row. Corbin Burns, your ace. Zach Gallen is your number two. Merrill Kelly is your number three, and one of my favorite guys, Brandon Fott. Fott is your fourth. Holy smoke, man. What is going on? Also, don't sleep on Eduardo Rodriguez. You know, back a few years ago with the Tigers, he was a good starter. So is he going to be their fifth guy? Holy smoke, Wade. There's no holes in that rotation. I think Fott still has ace type stuff. He's still a young guy, so he's still coming into his own. Imagine what Fott's going to learn from Corbin Burns. Woo, baby.
I actually, not to cut you off, but I think I like Fott at this stage more. I like him, and I think I trust him more than I do the other guys.
Same, same.
I,
No,
I really would like him to
I'm
be in
with you.
number two.
Yeah.
People like Zach Gallen. I know he's an all-star man, but
Mhm.
if you look at his last couple years,
There's been some
they
regression.
almost like shut him down when they go on the road,
That's right.
and he's really only really dominant at home. Um, I know he has good road games, but I don't
Yeah,
know. I like what Fott brings to the table. I think he should be their number two, but with the
definitely.
experience, I mean, you can't beat that experience.
Yeah. The only thing that worries me is their bullpen. Their bullpen was one of the worst in baseball last year. I mean, it was just brutal. And so if they didn't shore up that bullpen,
Well, you got to think about it too. They didn't have Gallon for a lot of time last year. Merrill was out a lot, so I think the bullpen had a lot more work last year. If all these guys can stay healthy, there's no reason why they can't go 6, 7 innings
sure,
most games. And
that
this
helps.
This bullpen should be one of the least used bullpens, which would leave them hopefully more efficient. Not out there getting tired every other game because they're using 3, 4, 5 arms to get through a game. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just kind of my thoughts on. I am really high on this Diamondbacks team this year.
Dude, I love it. Best line I can see right now for D backs to make the playoffs minus 110 at FanDuel. It's about,
It's not
yeah,
even
it's
plus
minus
money.
one. Yeah, I know. What a bummer.
People
Still,
are
that's
onto it.
yeah, it's not bad.
I think it's a
I
good
love
bet.
the
I may
Josh
still even
Naylor.
bet that.
The Josh Naylor acquisition's huge for the Snakes too, man. That's a big bat to add in their lineup.
God, the
Like that.
Nailers are just like they just strike out too if they don't hit.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
yeah,
I, I don't I like that move, but
yeah. It's some power.
and I guess I don't really want to talk about the Astros, but I guess I did want to mention that the Astros, even though they lost Bregman to the Red Sox,
Yep.
they did add some power packed acquisitions here. The Astros made key acquisitions by adding Christian Walker first base and Isaac Paredes from third base from the Rays. Walker hit 36 home runs with 94 RBIs last year. Um, and Paredes has a really good defensive versatility on the defensive side, and he has offensive power. So
Hmm.
I think that's going to solidify the corner infield for the Astros, putting them alongside Alvarez, Altuve. Um, I think they're gonna be the same old Astros, man. Those two guys kind of help fill the void. Which I Bregman's been solid, but these guys might be able to put more punch into this offense, which they didn't need any more of that. So
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's yeah, that it's weird. On the surface, once I heard that they lost Kyle Tucker and Alex Bregman, I thought, oh crap, Houston's going in the toilet. But then
yeah,
exactly adding Christian Walker and Isan Paredes almost makes up for it right there. And I think they got, if I'm not mistaken, both those guys are a little bit younger than the two departing guys. So
correct.
yeah, I don't. As much as I dislike the Astros, they know how to run a ball club. Their scouts aren't idiots, and I like
I
the
think
rotation. I like the
way less
rotation.
injury prone for these two players.
Yep. Very good point. Very good point. And like I said, I like the rotation. One of our guys, those Spencer Spaghetti already. We like him. Uh, Framber Valdez always around. Hunt Brown. Hunt Brown's a funny one, man. He was a gas can to start the year, but then he figured it out. I don't know if
Woo!
some
Man,
pitching coach whisperer got a hold of him. And then
holy.
Renell Blanco. Blanco was not a bad arm either. So I like their rotation pretty well
Yeah.
down there in Houston. And then Josh Hader's always a good closer. So yeah, I think they'll be tough to beat once again. They're in the Central.
You have those odds pulled up. They're probably minus 120, 130 to make the playoffs. I'm assuming they're
Astros.
favored. They're probably favored to win the division again.
Yeah, Astros are minus 148 to make the playoff. Minus 148. As far as division, we'll go NL Central. Actually, wow, this is oh duh. I'm caught back in the '90s. Big way to keep. I always forget. Astros in AL West now. Saying NL Central. It's funny. Yeah. So AL West, it's
Probably
really
plus
close.
100 to win the division or something.
Really, well, it's shocking. You'll never guess it. They're actually plus 180. Texas is right behind them, plus 190.
Plus 180.
Yep. And Seattle's third at plus 200. So the books are
Yeah,
thinking really
I guess
tight
the
race.
Rangers
Yeah,
and the Mariners can be threats. So
true. True. Angels and A's, of course, will be down in the cellar again, unfortunately, as bad as it pains me to say it.
you watch your mouth.
Hey, and I like the A's. I got an A's jersey in my closet here. I'm
Well, I
lucky.
guess the last thing I wanted to jump in real quick before we get to our picks was what is your favorite move of the offseason? Which one do you think is going to be the biggest one? Obviously, we had Corbin Burns going to the D-backs. We've got Kyle Tucker went from the Astros to the Cubs. Cody Bellinger joined the Yankees, which they really needed a left-handed hitter. Um, Garrett Crochet to the Red Sox along with Alex Bregman. So any of those really stand out to you, or is there one that I did not mention that you think was
Yeah,
needed?
I'll go Homer on you again, way with the Atlanta Braves. I was shocked we actually made a move this off season. They hadn't really done much the past off season, but I love bringing in Jurix and Profar. I think that's a huge bat for the Braves. They're going to need him. So that was kind of my Homer move. I really do like you kind of hit, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I like the moves the Red Sox made. I think the Red Sox got really unlucky last year in some games. If you went back and checked, some of, you can go back and check some of these advanced metric sites. You can see, what their win total should have been and what they ended up at. They melted down in some games they really shouldn't have. Probably because they do play in the toughest division in baseball with the Yankees, the Orioles, Rays, and the Blue Jays. They're in the AL East. But I like what they did. How can you not like Garrett Crochet? My goodness, that adds some much needed respect to their starting rotation. And then the addition of Bregman, man, he's going to be firing balls at the Green Monster all year long. So yeah, I guess it would be. My heart says it's Profar, but I think my head says the Red Sox made some really good moves. Curious to hear what you think. What's your favorite move of the
Well,
offseason?
I do want to ask you while you've got the odds pulled up, can you pull
Sure.
up, see what the Red Sox, what that division, what those odds are to win? I'm assuming the
Yeah.
Yankees are favored. They're probably going to be plus 180 as well, like the Astros, then I assume.
Yankees plus 110, Orioles plus 250, Red Sox plus 420. So pretty good.
I don't know, man.
Oh,
I have this sneaky suspicion that the Red Sox are gonna win this division this year.
may not. They may.
Um,
It wouldn't. I don't know. Something. eh, And you might feel the same way. We line up a lot on our baseball thoughts, but I don't know, man. There's something Baltimore. I don't know. Like I've always liked them the last 2 or 3 years, but I don't. I kind of feel like they had their chance to get over the hump and they just hadn't quite got there. I don't know if it's, losing Corbin Burns. There's just something in my gut tells me that Baltimore may regress a little bit. I don't know. It
their
could just be
starting
any.
pitchers never seem to stay healthy, and
Yeah,
then I don't know. The Orioles are my favorite team in that whole division. I really
yeah,
love them, just as a team in general, regardless if these players are there or not. I also have some really close friends that are huge Orioles fans, so that kind of pulls my strings a little bit, but then I also get to listen to hear them complain about certain things all the time, like Adley Rushman and all these other things that they kind of don't want these players to get paid.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, so I guess my thing on the Red Sox is just if you look at their pull up their lineup and just look at their lineup, their hitting lineup, I love everything they have. I think they're going to make a move in the regular season towards the trade deadline. I think they do need to get a better. I'm not big on. I always forget the guy's name. Their center fielder, young guy that bats like projected ninth. He's going to bat ninth. Rafaela or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm just
It's
not. I
John
think
Rafaela.
they need
Yeah,
to find
Rafaela.
somebody to replace him, but I guess there are probably some Red Sox fans out there that would disagree with me. He's fine. He's young. I just think if they could add one more solid veteran hitter
Hmm.
to that ridiculous lineup, if you look at who they're
Yes.
projected to go, like they're 1 through like 6 hitters are going to be
Yeah,
pretty tough.
it's gonna be
And I
special.
loved their starting rotation last year. Now they added
Yeah,
really the best pitcher in baseball. I think if you look at
definitely.
clear metrics,
Yeah, I'm with
outside of Chris Sale, he had the best metrics.
you. Hmm.
Strikeout rate, whiff rate, chase rate, whatever rate you want to put out there, spin rate. I don't care what rate. He's basically number one or two, top of the percentile in every single stat. So when you add Crochet and then you add Bregman,
Yeah,
I guess
it's
as long as he
big
doesn't
time.
mess up the locker room, I
Yeah.
think his veteran presence could be really nice to add.
Hmm.
I've kind of read some reports that him and Devers is reluctant on moving from third base. So
Yeah, yeah.
I guess there was kind of a little issue there between those guys and what positions they were going to play. But I think when you pair Devers and Bregman, I just think their offense is going to be too much. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. The only thing I really haven't looked into too much, really, on any of the teams yet, because I'm still digging into certain things, is the bullpen. So I'm not really sure where the Red Sox bullpen sits. You actually know a lot more about the bullpens than I do, anyways. It's really not part of my handicapping game, so I don't dig into bullpens too much. Um, but gosh, I just think their starting rotation, kind of like the D-backs. A lot of their guys can give you innings. Sure, I think a couple of them are prone to get blown up every once in a while, but I really like their starting rotation. I like their first 3 to 4 guys.
Mhm.
I think they're gonna,
Yeah.
and I guess I never even got to the point of Soto leaving the Yankees. I just think with him being anywhere, he's gonna make the Mets a more patient team. Everybody's gonna learn how to be more patient hitters. You're gonna
True.
probably see more walks from the Mets. You're gonna see just better plate discipline. I just now that he's not there with the Yankees, I think they're gonna have a bunch of bad discipline again. They may
Yep.
have learned something from him, and maybe they'll keep that forever. But I don't
Maybe
know. Having him there, he's also kind of like a blanket. Whenever he goes up, he's gonna do something good.
he is. He's a
So
stud.
I don't know, man. He gives your whole team a different sense of aura and presence, and I think the Yankees are going to sit back a little bit. They may still win the division, but I would not be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if the Orioles won the division, but I think the Red Sox can win the division. And for that plus 400, that's a plus 450 I'd probably like to get on. I don't know about Scooball repeating again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Pitchers can get injured, but
Sure.
I think I may end up jumping on that Red Sox to win the division.
I definitely don't hate it. And then they did add some bullpen pieces. They brought in the veteran or the flamethrower, man, Aroldis Chapman, now a Red Sox. It's actually, I think, he's getting on up there in age, but he can still throw it 100 easily. You got Liam Hendricks in there also. So they did add a few pieces.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
it's
not
tough.
not super crazy about their bullpen, but it should be improved. Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I think the Yankees definitely take a step back. We saw last year Garrett Cole getting older. You know, fastball doesn't have the same life really. Yeah, that's probably a good bet there, Wade. At what would we say, plus 450 or so? I think it
Yeah,
was. Yeah,
I
that's
like that a lot.
pretty good, pretty good.
All right, well, let's get to our real futures here. We're gonna start with you, man. We're gonna
Uh oh.
go talk about your Atlanta Braves.
Oh. Yep.
What is the bet?
Yeah.
And
This one.
what do you think?
Wait, this is painful. You know, y'all know I have to really like a play to fade one of my favorite teams. But yeah, I took the Braves under 93 and a half season wins over drafting for plus 100 right now. I think they're still going to have a good year. I think they still could maybe even win the division, but this is a big ask for a team that we saw it last year, just decimated by injuries. Here's the bad news.
Yeah.
It's already started off bad again. Once again, Sean Murphy hurt his rib, I think yesterday or a couple days ago. Going to miss 4 to 6 weeks of the season. The same side he hurt last year and also missed a ton of time. That's a key bat. And obviously, their starting catcher, that hurts a lot. Now, a lot of scouts are high on Drake Baldwin, the backup here, but I mean, there's no way you're going to replace a seasoned bat like Murphy with a guy that just has very little experience. That hurts a ton. I hate that they let Max Fried walk. I know they didn't want to pay him, but I think that hurts. He's by far their best left-hander in the rotation. Of course, he goes to the freaking Yankees. Just ticks me off. That hurts a ton. And also, the main reason though for the under bet is we know Acuna is going to miss all of April. He said he's targeting a May return coming off that knee surgery. He's hoping to be back by May 2nd. That's when the Dodgers come to town in Atlanta, which, holy smoke, would love tickets to that one. Oh, that would be a good one. But, so that hurts a ton. He's the spark plug on the offense. We saw they just fell apart as soon as he got hurt last summer. You and I, we were commiserating over that. It was on a random Saturday, and we're just like, man, oh man, these injuries keep piling up. Also, their ace, Spencer Strider, he's not going to be back. They don't even have a timetable for his return. So he'll be back at some point, but it could be near the All Star break when he comes back. He had elbow surgery last year. So you lose Freed. Strider's not coming back till later. Also lost Charlie Morton. Now, Morton could be kind of a gas can, but he's a veteran, a good innings eater back in the rotation there. He left, went to Baltimore. So just lost some key arms. And, with Murphy getting hurt, Acuna not come back till later, I think under 93 and a half, pretty solid bet. Also, man, the NL East is no joke, especially with, we already talked about it, Soto going to the Mets makes them much more dangerous than they were last year. And then the Phillies ain't going anywhere, man. You still got Bryce Harper over there. You still got Castellanos. You still got Kyle Schwarber over there in Philly. You got a killer rotation in Philly. So I think there's going to be a lot of teams beating up each other in that division, NL East. So yeah, I went under 93 and a half as much as it pains me to do so, League. Any thoughts?
No, I think that might be a good play, man. It's just it's too tough. They got the Phillies and they've got to deal with the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
Mets are going to probably have more wins this year. Um, I don't know. It's a tough. I think the books are on a good line here. I think the
Yeah,
Braves can reach 90. I do. I
yeah,
mean,
same 1 in 90.
I don't see the Mets or the Nationals peaking up, and I know those aren't the only teams they play either. But yeah, I think it's a too high of a line for them this year. Too many question marks. So I think this is a good find by you, for sure.
Appreciate it, brother. What do you got for us, man? I
Yeah,
guess.
my first one. I'm gonna go back to the guy we were just talking about. I took Garrett Crochet to
Yeah.
at least get 200 Ks.
Woo!
I hate the
Come on.
minus 120 line, but I just think too good to pass up. I think he's going to hit this. I actually really love the move. I think if he still stayed where he was with the White Sox, I think he still would have had some, but he would have seen the same teams a lot more, so they would have at least seen him more often. Now that he moves to a new division, he's kind of going to see a bunch of new hitters for maybe not the first time, but not as often as he has seen maybe the Indians players, things like that nature. So I think that really helps his K numbers. Um, Last season we got to witness Garrett Crochet be really the only bright spot for the White Sox. He pitched 146 innings. He racked up 209 strikeouts and a 3.58 ERA.
Woo.
Now, while he did pitch 32 games, which is kind of the average where most of the starting pitchers pitch, if you go up and down the list, um, he really only did pitch the 146 innings, where if you look at the majority of pitchers, that if they pitch 32 innings, they're usually up in the 170, 180, 190. Some of them even reach 200 innings. So I think he has a lot of room to grow this year. I think
definitely.
he hit 209 Ks last year with 146 innings. Now I think if he can at least hit 170 plus innings, there's no reason why he shouldn't be hitting 200 Ks. Um, Health's going to play a big factor, but last year he averaged 6.5 Ks per game. I definitely think with more innings this year, he'll be able to reach at least 7 strikeouts per game. Um, Last season, he really had the most electric stuff in 2024, at least some of the most. He ranked 90th plus percentile in almost every pitching category, according to Baseball Savant. He ranked 98th percentile with a 35% strikeout percentage, and he ranked a 93rd percentile with a 33% whiff and chase rates. Pretty electric stuff, man. So I just think this line's too good to pass up. I don't know if I want to sprinkle on the 210 Ks. I didn't do that, but he
Yeah,
should be able to reach 210 Ks. He got 209 last year, and there's
yeah,
no reason if he doesn't stay healthy, he should reach at least 30 more innings this year. So
yeah. That's a solid play, Wade. I mean, and you gotta love it because it's not like we always worry about injuries with pitchers, but I mean the guy's 25, so I don't worry about it as much as a guy in his 20s as I do in a guy in his 30s, getting hurt, having arm problems, whatever. Got to remember too, the White Sox really shut him down toward the end of the season last year. They really only let him pitch a few innings here and there, so he really could have been pushing 250 strikeouts if he wasn't on such a terrible team like the Chi Sox. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I pulled up those baseball savant numbers, and you just shake your head. You're like, holy smoke, this guy has numbers like Cy freaking Young back in the day, right? So yeah, good bet right there, man. I like it. I think the price is really good, even at -120. I think it's a phenomenal price.
thank you very much. Thank you. But I do think that I don't know. I do need to pull those odds back up and see what his like 210 and see if they have a 215 or 220 somewhere.
Oh yeah,
Um, if it's juicy enough, I probably will play it because I don't want to come back and bite myself later because I know I probably should have taken a little bit more. I think
yeah.
I think I'm just looking at the article that I posted out there. Um, they have yeah, like I gave out Cole Reagans to hit 210 Ks at plus 150. Like Crochet should definitely be in there at the plus
Oh
something.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so yeah, I think if you guys wanted a plus money play, and rather than a minus 120 future, maybe just play the 210 or 215
Sure.
or 220 if you
Yeah,
can find
that's
it. I think 210 is a good number, honestly.
big
So
too. Yeah,
um, we'll jump over to the promo here real quick. Hey, sports fans, are you looking for free daily sports betting picks and the hottest promo codes for sports books in your state? Check out eatwatchbet.com, bettersinsider.com, and hellorookie.com, your ultimate one-stop shop for winning sports picks and unbeatable deals. Dive into daily articles packed with expert predictions and tips to help you make smarter bets. Plus, we've got links to exclusive promo codes for every major sports book in your state. Why miss out on free money? Don't wait. Visit eatwatchbet.com, bettersinsider.com, and hellorookie.com now and take your sports betting game to the next level. And right now, currently, if you guys go to DraftKings, there is, or I guess if you go to eatwatchbet.com, DraftKings is offering a bet five, get $150 back in bonus bets, which is actually equal to six $25 bets, which I actually really like because a lot of sports books sometimes make you bet that a whole 150
right.
in one go. So yeah, don't miss out on that deal.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, DraftKings, excellent partner of ours. Already watch bet. Also, Better's Insider. Yeah, you can't be. That's the best offer going right now. Definitely check that out. Appreciate y'all helping us keep the lights on. Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate the spot on the promo, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, so let's jump right into your next play. We've got the Cleveland Guardians. What are you thinking, man?
Yeah, here's another painful one, man. I kind of
What
like
are
the
you
Guardians.
thinking? Is what I'm saying. What
Always
are
have.
you?
Yeah, this is one of the ones. This is a little bit lower number, so surprised I like this one. But yeah, I took the Guardians under 82 and a half, minus 110 over DK. And it pains me to do it, man. I think they're still a solid ball club. But the loss of Josh Naylor hurts a lot in my book. I mean, he does strike out a lot, but he provides a ton of pop that lineup. They're going to miss him. Yeah, they did bring in Carlos Santana to kind of make up for it. Santana's getting kind of old. I'm not crazy about him. He's decent, but he's no stud like Josh Naylor. I think that hurts. I also think Cleveland just got really lucky last year with their bullpen. Now I know Emmanuel Clase, not with Clase. Clase is a stud. Now, he's almost unhittable. But really, it's their long relief, their middle relief guys. I think they just got extremely lucky. Cleveland played just outstanding defense behind them. They even had crazy luck as far as like outfield assists are concerned, which are impossible to predict. Their outfielders threw out a ton of guys. That's not really translatable the next year, I guess. It doesn't usually translate. It's more of a luck statistic. I think Cleveland will still be decent, but man, oh man, the rotation. I don't know, man. Just losing Shane Bieber, and I still blame myself for that Shane Bieber injury last year. As soon as I bet him to win the AL Cy Young, he got hurt his elbow. Man, he's going to miss a ton of time this year, and he's their ace, wily old veteran here. You go through the rotation way. That just the only one I really trust is Tanner Bobby. I'm not crazy about Ben Lively. Gavin Williams, I guess, is okay. Louis L. Ortiz, I really don't really like him. And Tristan McKenzie, I'm about ready to give up on him. I've kind of carried his flag for the last 3 or 4 years. He's just continued to let me down. Can't really put a lot of faith in him. Yeah. So I think a little bit of regression in the bullpen. Can't really trust the rotation outside of Bobby. Also, AL Central is really, really tough here, Wade. I mean, you look at it, Cleveland is always considered the class of the division, but I don't see him getting by Minnesota this year. I like the Twins. I'm bullish on the Twins. I think Detroit's still going to be dangerous with Scooball obviously doing his thing. And we saw what Kansas City did last year, too. So that's three opponents that are just really, really tough outs. Kind of like the AL East, as far as the AL Central goes, I could see those four teams just really beating up on each other, and they all finished around 500. And it's kind of a crapshoot as far as who's going to win that division. So I played under 82 and a half. It does hurt me. Don't like it as much as the Braves under, but yeah, it's still one I pulled the trigger on.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I
You do, but you
I'm
don't.
I'm a pretty big Guardians fan, but
I thought you would, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I would love to talk to you more about dig into why you're liking the Twins so much this year, but I just think the with them, the Royals, Tigers, um, those four teams are going to be really pressing to see who's going to win the division. So I think they're all going to be right around that mid 80s win total. Maybe one of them will reach a 90. Maybe two of them could, but um, I think the Royals are going to win that division. So maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't
Kansas
know.
City's tough,
I don't know.
man.
Twins are good too. So I think it's going to be between the Twins and the Royals.
Yeah, yeah. I was bullish on their rotation last year. I just love their
Who?
rotation. The Twins. I like Pablo Lopez. I like Bailey O'Bear. Joe Ryan's one of the guys I like, and even the law firm, Simeon Woods Richardson, kind of came around a little bit
Yeah,
last
you
year.
like him, don't you?
Those four guys are pretty decent. And don't count out Chris Paddock's not great. Don't think he's that terrible either. But David Festa looked good, young guy. He
Yeah,
looked
I
good.
don't think it's
Pretty
their
good.
pitching I have the problem with. I think it's their hitting.
Yeah,
I think I really question their. I just
yeah,
don't think they're very clutch. I think they got a lot of guys that are injury prone.
yep.
I don't know.
It's
I like
true.
their pitching. Their pitching is great, but you got to be able to.
Got to hit the ball. You're right. Yeah, that is my only
I don't
concern
know.
with it. Byron Buxton seems to always get hurt. He's a great bat, always seems to get hurt. Same thing with Royce Lewis last
Yeah,
year.
no, like all their guys are awesome when they're healthy, but they're never healthy. So,
Yeah,
like, am I going to sit here and think they're going to be healthy again? I just can't do it. Their pitchers are going to be healthy. The other guys are like their pitchers are probably one of the healthiest pitching staffs. They seem to be workhorses. All those
yeah.
guys.
Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely.
Elbert can give them big innings. I love Festa. I'm not sure how I feel about the old law firm, but at least he gives you good innings. He can have good
Yeah,
games, solid games. He's not.
yeah.
I think he's a solid late fourth, fifth pitcher. So, um, I don't know. I haven't. I that division's always tricky for me, man.
It
I
is.
did play the Tigers last year in their win total and cashed that.
Nice. That a
Um,
boy. That's right. Yeah, I remember that. That's
I
good.
don't know what to do with them this year. I like the signing of Flaherty, but yeah, I think the Guardians will probably stay under this number, but I won't be shocked if it goes over either. But they did
So,
lose some key pieces, and not having Bieber's. You got to
yeah,
have good pitching to win, and I do think their pitching is going to take a step back.
yeah,
Usually, their pitching is one of the ones you just bank on. They're going to find guys that are going to be
yeah,
solid, but this might be the year that they're putting too many eggs in some of these guys' baskets that aren't that good. So.
yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, my last pick, man. I'm actually it's gonna be a kind of a multiple pick. Give you guys some options here, but I took the Bobby Witt hits ladder. I'll
Hey,
give you
here
the
we go.
biggest one to start. I took Bobby Witt to have the most hits. I might be
Nice.
able to find a better number than this now. I'm not sure. It's plus 800 that
That's
I
great.
took.
Sounds
Threw
like
I threw a quarter on that, so a quarter unit. Um,
very nice.
and then I laddered his hits. So I started off with 1 unit on his to record 180 hits. That was minus 115. Then I played his to record 190 hits at plus 130, and then I did I to get 200 was plus 195.
Very nice.
I think we're probably going to get another head-to-head race between him and Luis Arias this season. Um, they both were kind of at the top of the list last year. Um, I think Witt got 211 and Louise reached 200 last year. So Witt did win last year. I think he can get it again this year. Obviously, health's going to be a big thing, and then with him, kind of his second time around as like his third time around, kind of a full time player. Some of these pitchers, pitching staffs, they have a lot more videotape on him now. They've got a lot more that they can probably try to attack him with to keep him not getting 100 to get 211 hits. So I think he might regress this year. If you kind of look at the history of some of these other hitters that are usually at the top, it's really tough to stay at like 200 plus every single year. Sometimes they'll fluctuate. Um, but I just think as long as they continue to pitch to him and they don't try to pitch around him and walk him and that kind of stuff, and as long as he's locked in and healthy, I think the 180 line's crazy. Um,
Yeah.
I think he can definitely get to 180. I think the 190 at plus 130 is honestly too low odds as well. Um, I think he can probably reach that pretty easily. And then honestly, I think towards the end of the season, we could be sweating out the 200, which would make kind of a fun sweat towards whatever August, September, kind of pushing there to see if he can reach 200 hits. Because in 161 games played last year, he had 211. In 2023, he played 3 games less. He played 158, and he finished 177 hits. So in just 3 more games he played last year, which I don't expect him to play 161 this year. Like that's almost playing
Right.
every game.
That's a ton.
Um,
Yeah.
he'll probably come. I just if he can at least get to 158 again. In 3 more games, he had 34 more hits.
Yeah. That's
So
amazing. Wow. Yeah.
I think
That's
if he can at least reach 158, I don't see why he can't at least reach the 190. And like I said, I think we'll be sweating out the 200. So if he's healthy, that's the thing with futures. I like the angle. To be honest, I like the angle of taking the team totals and stuff as futures more than players. Usually, when I do players, it's either good or bad. You're almost either gonna sweat out of cash or your guy gets injured and misses 40, 50 games. Like I had Austin Riley last year, and he wasn't hitting any home runs, and he got injured. It's just a catastrophe. So, um, unfortunately, player futures are basically all on health. If
it
Garrett
is.
Crochet and Bobby Witt
Right.
Jr. are stay healthy the whole year, they're probably going to cash these bets. If they don't,
Oh
if they miss some time, they're probably going to miss these bets. That's kind of what stinks with taking team totals like the Braves and Guardians. Kind of doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. It does matter if you lose your best players and stuff, but
sure.
um, even then, a team can just not perform well or overperform, and you don't have to worry about one player killing your entire bet. I guess is what I'm saying. So.
Exactly.
And I know
Exactly.
a lot of people also don't like to tie up money in futures either. So that's another thing where some people really only like to take like juicy futures, like plus 2000s and plus 1200s. But I also like to take stuff that am confident is going to return me money at the end of the year. So
Yeah, exactly. It's all about what kind of better you want to be. It's like, heck, man, and it's funny. I always chuckle when I hear people say that they don't want to tie up money for 6 months. I'm like, well, heck, you do it in other investments. You do it in real estate. You do it in stocks and bonds and everything else. Why wouldn't you do it in gambling too? But I'm a pretty conservative, conservative gambler. Conservative. I'm fine tying up money as long as I think there's value in it. I definitely see the argument, but
no, I
yeah,
mean, I kind of like the. I look at these as kind of a sprinkle on the top, a little ice cream at the end of the year. So you kind of look at the, hey, I'm gonna try to shoot for
yeah,
100+ units in baseball, and then at the end of the year, if I can sprinkle
that's
on
it.
5 more from the futures, or 2 more, or 3 more. Obviously, it sucks when you do futures, and then they cause you to lose money.
Oh yeah,
But that's
yeah.
gonna happen. It is what it is.
It is, and
That's why maybe I think you should just not play so many futures and just try to pick your few that you really like.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally agree. I only played
Last
4
year I
years.
took too many in baseball, and I had numerous guys get injured, and I lost almost every single player prop last year. So
Yeah,
this year we're on a revenge tour. We're gonna cash some of these
that's
bad
right,
boys.
baby.
I did. If you guys didn't see it, go to X, check my account out. I'm not sure you probably can just search for it, I guess. But there was a MLB futures article. I gave out 3 more
Absolutely.
pitcher futures, all
That's right.
strikeouts. So check those out if you want. Mike, what you got going on today? You got to the any bets
Yeah,
out? I guess for college basketball is kind of the hot thing going on right now.
college hoops. Yeah, got a couple player props. Those are kind of up and down lately. Good January. February was kind of lost a touch. Maybe basically break even. Lost less than a unit. It's been kind of frustrating. Really, really hot to start February, but it's just been up and down ever since. That's how it goes sometimes, though. But yeah, they're still fun to jump on. Got a couple for today. So check those out over at bettersinsider.com. Those are posted there every morning, usually by 7:30 in the morning. Try to get on those lines early, give you some good value. But yeah, it's pretty much it, man. Just gearing up for March Madness. A lot of the smaller conferences are starting this week. The big boys start next week for the conference tournament. And we're all waiting on the real NCAA tournament coming up here in a couple of weeks. So yeah, exciting times, man. One of my favorite times of the year is March Madness. So can't wait.
Yeah, no, it's right now. I guess the we do have the my main pick today is in the tournament. So if you guys want that play, be on the lookout on all social media. That's going to be posting in a little bit. The line hasn't really moved all day, so it's kind of nice. I hate when I take a pick and give it out to my members early in the morning or late at night, and then by the time content comes out the next day, the odds are way different. So yeah, man. So I appreciate you doing this. You guys can join us. We're gonna try to at least do this weekly. I'm hoping we can do this at least twice a week. Give you guys a couple bets twice a week. Give you guys any updates on baseball news. Usually, as the season goes on, that part kind of dwindles down. There's not much to talk about every week. So, um, go through a quick rundown of our picks. Mike gave out the Braves under 93.5 wins, and he gave out the Guardians under 82.5 wins. I gave out Garrett Crochet 200 plus Ks, and then the Bobby Witt ladder plus his most hits. The main play was Bobby Witt to at least get 180 hits. So if you guys want to also take his 190 or 200, I like those as well. And once again, appreciate you guys joining us. A little longer show. Most episodes with our picks will be probably 15, 20 minutes tops. Moving forward, heck, maybe we might even shoot for a little shorter and try to get this into a 10-minute mark. I know people would rather get picks quicker, so like to jump on here, chat with you real quick, see what we can edit out of this bad boy, and again, appreciate you guys joining Dueling Aces. If you guys tail these picks, let's cash these babies. Good luck on your picks tonight. Your picks the rest of the week. Mike, I appreciate you as always, man.
Hey, my pleasure, buddy. Appreciate you having me on. It's great to be talking some baseball and pumped for the season, man. Thank y'all for watching and best of luck if you're tailing. Let's cash some tickets.
See you guys.
Be good.